You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Bold and the Beautiful fans. Brooke Logan is the new CEO of Forrester Creations by the end of the week, and she is siding with Hope Logan and the takeover team, but I suspect something big pushes Brooke back in the other direction before too long. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we're going to dive into what could get Brooke to throw her daughter under the bus and side with Team Forrester before it's all over with. And hey, if you're not subscribed, please click that button before we get into it. So this week has been pretty interesting on B&B with the Forresters talking about Carter and Hope being unable to run the company they stole, despite his earlier regrets of using some harsh language about and to Hope. We saw Ridge back at it on Wednesday. He called Brooke's daughter an idiot. He said Hope can't help Carter run Forrester Creations because she ran her own line into the ground, and that was pretty funny. I saw a lot of fans enjoyed that line too. I literally laughed out loud. And Steffi reminded her dad, Carter can just hire somebody to run the company who knows fashion, since he doesn't. But Ridge seems pretty sure that no one wants to work for a guy that stole the company. But Ridge is wrong, because Brooke Logan agrees to do exactly that. On the Thursday episode of this week, Carter and Brooke made the big announcement. She's the new CEO, and Ridge is absolutely disgusted. And what's kind of funny is Hope already saw the writing on the wall, and she warned Carter that Brooke taking the CEO job would be bad for her relationship with Ridge. But Carter doesn't care about that, of course. And Huck's taken this job to somehow protect Ridge's interest and, hang on to the company for him until he can find a way to get it back. I think right now, Brooke is upset at the way he talked about her daughter. She absolutely lost it when Ridge called Hope a slut. And then Brooke told Katie that, she kept expecting Ridge to come home. And I think Brooke really is waiting for him to walk through the door and apologize and say he's wrong. And she doesn't even get that Ridge thinks she's the one in the wrong, not him. And his point of view isn't going to change. Brooke blames Steffi for all of this, basically saying Carter and Hope had no choice. So Ridge doesn't think he owes Brooke an apology, and he's not going to make one. What Ridge will be making is sweet love to Taylor Hayes pretty soon, though. Once he finds out Brooke parked herself in his CEO chair and is legitimizing the takeover, Ridge is done. She and Katie were talking about Forrester being in a period of transition. That's a very nice way to say it's been hijacked illegally and unethically by Carter under fraudulent conditions. Brooke brought up all the years that she thinks Forrester Creations did the Logans dirty, and of course she dragged Ridge's mom Stephanie into it when they were fighting. What I do believe is that Brooke Trey, Hope and Carter, no matter what, Brooke always puts the man in her life before anything else. She's been that way for years, whether she calls it destiny or following her heart. Ridge will be who she chooses in the end, because Brooke already showed very recently that's where her true priorities lie. Remember when Hope and Carter were conspiring at the cabin? Brooke eavesdropped and ran right to Ridge and ratted them out about the plotting. And if you remember, Hope raged at her mom for not talking to her first before tattling to Ridge. And at the time, Brooke said she did it because Carter and Hope were doing something wrong, and they still are, but Brooke is joining in with them, at least for a while. And during that whole thing with the eavesdropping, Brooke's knee-jerk reaction was to protect Ridge, not Hope. She knew this would not look good for her. And for those reasons, her daughter should already be expecting to be backstabbed by Brooke, in favor of Ridge. And here's what I think is going to drive Brooke to turn on Hope. As I said before, Brooke thinks Ridge should be apologizing. He's not going to. Instead, he's going to get into some kind of situationship with Taylor, who is always his fallback girl. Realistically, Taylor should insist that she and Ridge take things slow because he just walked out on Brooke. But now that Taylor has that broken heart syndrome thing and she and Ridge were bonding and she acknowledged he's the love of her life, I don't think Taylor's going to waste any time. If Ridge hasn't unwrapped her before then, I'm quite certain they'll be yab-yumming by Christmas, maybe New Year's, probably Christmas. They're not going to waste a lot of time. That's my prediction. And I know Steffi's going to be excited about Ridge reuniting with Taylor, and she'll make sure that Brooke knows she lost her man because she betrayed the family. I think Brooke turns the tables on Hope and Carter. Brooke cares way more about her dusty destiny with Ridge than she does about being CEO or any hurt feelings caused by names that Ridge called Hope. She will not tolerate Taylor winning Ridge. And if Brooke needs to burn down harder to get her man back, you can bet she will bring the gasoline and a flamethrower. I think Brooke feels like she's in the right and Steffi is in the wrong. Once Brooke sees Taylor got Ridge back in her bed, back in her life, and they're making happily ever after plans, Hope and Carter better watch their backs because Brooke is coming for them.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.